if you're ambitious, if you're out there building things, you definitely know the feeling. This
Yeah.
intense pressure of the modern world, it feels relentless, doesn't it?
It really does.
We get sold this kind of exhausting idea that success means you have to trade your inner peace for, I don't know, external validation.
Yeah, or trade sleep for spreadsheets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you have to override being human just to keep pace with this 2047 market demand. It feels unsustainable.
It is unsustainable, and that's why we're seeing this, well, this fascinating paradox emerge now.
What's that?
See these images, right? The super successful founder, the top executive, maybe sitting cross-legged at 5 a.m.
Okay.
And they're not frantically checking markets. They're choosing stillness before they even think about strategy.
So it's not about escaping the world.
Not at all. It's actually an act of profound alignment. The truth is, and this is echoed in ancient wisdom and modern neuroscience, real sustainable effectiveness doesn't come from just frantic doing.
It comes from
Grounded being.
Yeah.
From how you show up.
Okay, that's what we're diving into today then. We want to unpack how mindfulness, it sounds simple, just paying attention on purpose, how that's not just like a spiritual nice to have anymore.
Right. Or just another self-care trend.
Yeah, it's actually the hidden architecture maybe of success that lasts. And maybe more importantly, a real competitive advantage in a world basically designed to distract us.
Precisely. It's fundamental. Let's get into it.
Let's do it. So, okay, let's talk strategy. Why stillness? Why is that a competitive edge? I mean, if attention is the scarcest resource we have right now,
Which it arguably is.
right, then why isn't the most successful person the one just scrolling faster or, reacting instantly to every single ping? Why would you pause?
Because attention isn't just a resource. It's the bedrock. The absolute foundation of high performance.
Okay.
In a world that's just drowning us in information and distractions, the ability to actually focus deeply, calmly, consistently. That's the differentiator.
So it's not about how much you do.
No, it's about the quality of mind you bring to the doing. That's the game changer.
And what's really interesting is seeing this idea move out of, say, the meditation cushion zone
Yeah, definitely.
and right into these really high-stakes environments. It's not just for wellness workshops anymore, is it?
Oh, not at all. You see huge tech companies, major corporations rolling out large-scale programs, and they're focusing on emotional intelligence, on presence. You even see it in design philosophy. Think about Apple's obsession with simplicity. That kind of mirrors the Zen idea of shibumi.
Shibumi. What's that?
It's this idea of finding beauty in restraint, power in subtraction, getting rid of the unnecessary noise so the signal is clearer.
Less noise, clearer signal. Okay, I like that.
And the high-pressure examples are maybe the most striking.
Like what?
Well, you have elite forces. Think U.S. Navy SEALs. They rely on specific breathwork techniques
Right.
and present moment awareness
Way.
to regulate fear under extreme stress.
Okay, wait. Regulating fear under, like, live fire conditions, that's about as far from a quiet cushion as you can get. So does that mean mindfulness is actually about embracing the chaos, not just avoiding it?
It means learning to navigate the chaos without becoming part of the chaos,
Yeah.
without getting swept away by it.
Ah, okay.
The key insight here really is realizing that how we show up on the inside, that directly shapes what we create on the outside.
So a scattered mind builds.
Builds scattered businesses, builds fragile things, makes short-sighted decisions, but a mind that's trained in awareness, in presence, it navigates complexity with more grace because it chooses how to respond instead of just reacting blindly.
Okay, so let's connect the dots then. How does sitting still, or maybe just focusing on your breath for a moment, how does that actually translate into making a better call when you're looking at cash flow numbers, or when a negotiation gets really tense? What's the practical mechanism?
Let's use an analogy. Think of a potter's wheel.
Okay.
Before a potter can shape anything beautiful, anything lasting,
Yeah.
what's the first thing they have to do?
Center the clay.
Exactly. Center the play. If that clay is off center, it doesn't matter how skilled they are, how hard they try,
Yeah.
the pot's going to wobble, it'll warp, it might even collapse.
Right.
Mindfulness is that essential centering process for yourself, for your vision, for your business.
I know when I get stressed, my amygdala, the fight or flight part of the brain,
Yeah.
it doesn't just feel hijacked, it feels like it's suddenly running the whole show. So what's the real cost of not centering that clay, metaphorically speaking?
The cost is huge inefficiency.
Yeah.
And poor decisions. When you're highly stressed, that amygdala fires up and it essentially short circuits your prefrontal cortex.
And that's the part responsible for.
Planning, long-term thinking, empathy, seeing the bigger picture, moral judgment even, all the higher level stuff.
So you just become reactive.
Totally reactive, short-sighted, defensive. But by practicing just returning to the breath even for 3 seconds, it doesn't have to be long.
Sure.
You activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system. You basically bring your strategic brain back online.
Just by pausing for a few breaths. So if we get access back to our best thinking just by pausing, what's the biggest mistake we stop making? Like, immediately.
We stop operating purely on moha.
Moha.
Moha. It's an ancient concept from Buddhist psychology mostly. It basically means delusion, confusion, operating on autopilot, driven by craving and aversion.
Okay, so delusion, like getting caught up.
Yeah, exactly. Its antidote is sati,
Sati.
which means recollection, or maybe better, remembering. Remembering to be here, now, aware.
So if moha today is like getting totally swept up in the latest industry hype cycle or chasing trends just out of FOMO,
Perfect example.
and sati is just that moment of recognizing, hang on, I'm caught in the hype right now scrolling through this feed.
That's exactly it. Moha in business. It looks like chasing vanity metrics that don't really matter. It looks like ignoring clear ethical problems in your supply chain because fixing them hits the bottom line.
Oof, yeah.
Or burning out your best people just to hit some arbitrary short-term target. Sati looks like taking that pause before hitting send on an angry email. It looks like really listening, deeply listening to a junior team member's idea in a meeting. Or choosing long-term sustainability maybe over a quick short-term gain that compromises your values. It's the fundamental shift really, from autopilot to awareness.
Which brings us right to that core conflict, doesn't it? The one so many ambitious, successful people feel. This fear that, well, ambition clashes with detachment.
Right, or that wanting to build something profitable somehow taints your spiritual purity.
Yeah, that feeling of constantly battling against selling out. It feels really real for a lot of people.
It does feel real, but that battle often comes from a false separation, a false duality.
How so?
This is where we could bring in a really practical idea, business as Dharma.
Dharma. Okay, I know that word, but in this context.
In this context, think of Dharma as living and working in alignment with truth, with your own integrity. The old idea of right livelihood. It doesn't say you have to abandon the marketplace.
It asks how you're in the marketplace.
Precisely. How are you in business? A business can actually be an incredible vehicle for service, for creativity, for connection. The real question isn't if you're building something, but why and how. Are you building from a place of vision and service? Or from scarcity and fear?
It's easy to say business as service, but can pursuing profit ever really be pure? Can you give me a modern example of right livelihood that isn't just, I don't know, selling yoga mats or something?
Sure. Think about impact investing, where profit and positive impact are explicitly linked.
Okay.
Or think about a company that consciously chooses to spend significantly more money to ensure its supply chain is truly ethical and transparent, even knowing that decision hits their profit margins short term.
Because it aligns with their values.
Exactly, that's right. Livelihood and action. That's choosing to see your business not just as an engine for making money, but as a field for cultivation.
And that connects to the idea of karma, right? Intentional action. If the business is a field, our actions are like seeds we're planting.
You got it. Karma is basically strategic cultivation. Every intentional action is a seed, a bija, planted in the field of consciousness your own and the collective culture of your business.
So, give me an example.
Okay. If you react with anger in a tense budget meeting, you plant seeds of fear, maybe defensiveness, in the culture.
Right, people clam up.
But if you pause, take a breath, respond with clarity, even if it's firm, you plant seeds of psychological safety, of respect. The quality of your internal state, your attention, it directly determines the quality of the seeds you're planting.
Wow. So my own mind, my internal state, that's actually the most powerful lever I have for shaping the culture around me.
Absolutely. And this is why it's so crucial to understand the difference between tancha and chanda.
Okay, more terms. Tancha.
Tancha is thirst or craving.
Yeah.
It's that grasping, clinging quality. It's the inner voice whispering or maybe shouting, I must get this deal, or I have to succeed, or I'm worthless.
Ah, that sounds familiar. That creates tension, right?
Huge tension, volatility, fragility, because your sense of self is totally wrapped up in the outcome.
And what does tan look like in a business decision?
Tana might look like signing that incredibly risky high-leverage deal, not because it's strategically sound long-term, but purely because hitting that massive valuation target feels essential to your ego, your identity, regardless of the instability it creates later.
Okay. And the alternative?
Chanda. Chanda is different. It's often translated as wise intention or zeal, but without the clinging. It's the energy behind saying, I will give this my absolute best. I'll operate with integrity. I'll pour my heart into it, and I will trust the process. It generates flow, not friction.
So Chanda is like holding firm on your core values, maybe, even if it means slightly slower growth right now?
Exactly. You care deeply. You strive intensely. But you don't cling desperately to a specific outcome. And paradoxically, that non-attachment actually makes your judgment clearer, sharper, more resilient. Because your ego isn't constantly on the line with every single up and down.
That's it. That's the alchemy, maybe. Mindful success. Okay, now, let's talk integration. This all sounds great on a podcast or on a retreat, but
the real world calls.
yeah, investor calls, looming deadlines, family stuff pulling at you. How do we actually maintain this center when the chaos hits? What are the practical re-entries back to this present state?
We need anchors. Things that are always available no matter what's going on. And the most obvious one,
The breath.
the breath. It's built in, it's always here. You can use, say, 3 conscious breaths before every single meeting.
Just 3.
Just 3. Or before you open that really high stakes email you've been dreading. Or right before you have to give someone difficult feedback.
And the goal isn't necessarily to calm down in that moment.
Not primarily, no. The goal is simply to arrive. To land in the present moment, just for a second before you act, to interrupt the autopilot.
Okay. What else? What about when we're stuck using technology, which is often the source of the distraction in the first place?
We can learn to reimagine the mundane moments, those little gaps.
Like what?
Like the few seconds a slow application takes to load, or the 5 seconds before you hit send on that potentially contentious email.
Use those tiny gaps as micro-mindfulness moments.
Exactly. That brief pause can be enough to shift you out of pure reactivity and back into your more strategic, aware brain. Another simple anchor is cognitive, using a mantra maybe.
Wait.
Before going into a product review, maybe you silently repeat to yourself, clarity over speed, or listen first. Just a little phrase to gently nudge your intention. It helps combat that cultural obsession we have with just velocity, 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 often at the cost of real wisdom.
Right. Doing things fast instead of doing the right things.
Precisely. And these small re-entries,
Yeah.
done consistently, they start to add up. They eventually lead to a much bigger shift.
A shift in how we see the work itself.
Exactly. The really profound transformation happens when you realize you're no longer building something just to prove something.
Prove something to who?
To your parents, maybe. Your old boss. Your investors. Yourself, even. That need starts to dissolve. And instead, you realize you're building to express something.
Express what?
Something authentic about your values, your vision, your creativity. That's the threshold. That's when business stops being just a performance and it starts becoming a conscious practice.
Wow. That's a powerful shift. Measuring success by resonance, maybe, not just revenue.
Yes. And this brings us to the lotus metaphor. You know the image.
The lotus flower growing out of the mud.
Right. It grows pristine, beautiful, radiant, directly from the muddy, murky water.
Okay.
The business stress, the market uncertainty, the difficult team dynamics, the messy complexities. Those aren't obstacles to your wisdom or your presence. They are the mud. They are the fertile ground for your wisdom, for authentic leadership to emerge.
So the stress is the mud, and our presence, our awareness, is the flower.
Beautifully put, yes. Business is Dharma.
Looking ahead then, especially with AI and automation becoming so powerful,
Yes.
what's left for us humans to uniquely offer?
Well, think about it. In an age of relentless optimization, the last truly unscalable advantage, it's our humanity.
Meaning?
Empathy,
Mm-hmm.
intuition, real felt presence, moral courage, creativity that comes from deep insight, not just pattern recognition. These qualities can't be coded. They can't be automated. They have to be cultivated intentionally.
So the future doesn't belong to the fastest algorithm.
Maybe not exclusively. The future belongs, perhaps more so, to the most awake, the most deeply human.
So to wrap this up, the core message is,
Remember this, without inner stability, any outer success you achieve is fundamentally fragile. It's built on shaky ground. Mindfulness, this practice of presence, doesn't make you a softer leader. It makes you a stronger, more resilient one.
rooted in truth, not just ego or reaction.
Exactly. Rooted in clarity.
And maybe the most revolutionary thing any of us can do, especially in a world that just screams faster, more, is to intentionally slow down sometimes.
Not to fall behind.
No, not to fall behind, but to see clearly, to act wisely, and ultimately to build something real, something robust, something that actually lasts.
Well said.
Okay, so we want to leave you, our listener, with one final thought. Something to maybe sit with, explore this week as you go about your work, your projects, your decisions.
What is it?
What if my business or my project, my work, whatever it is I'm building, what if it isn't just something I do, but actually a mirror reflecting who I'm becoming?